Hello and welcome to GPTV on the most beautiful Tuesday, the 22nd of November. My name is Philip Kingston.
I'm Gary P. Is it really beautiful?
It is.
Really
it's
beautiful?
a beautiful.
Okay.
Gary, as Sally Zellman,
yes.
our fabulous and famous partner,
CEO.
often says,
She's our Chief Energy Officer.
When she wakes up in the morning, she says to her husband, "It's another beautiful day. I can't wait to get up." And she does not check the weater before she makes that statement.
That's true.
Gary, I'm going to have. It's like a tirade. I'm going to go on now.
Can I go and have a cup of tea?
No. It's something we've never considered before.
Do I have to stay here?
It's something we've never considered before, but I think this is going to be the headline of GPTV. Should and is it fair for a real estate agent to sue their own client? So,
good question,
Gary,
Phil.
I'm going to tell you.
You know what? Sometimes people have to take personal responsibility. That's my line here.
Correct,
Without
Gary.
actually knowing even what you're going to say next. But I know that, all this suing is often about people not taking their own personal responsibility. But
you know what,
go
Gary?
for it. Knock yourself out.
Everybody wants to...
Hang on. Knock yourself out, Phil.
Everybody wants to sue us. We get the most frivolous claims.
You'll see why that comment is a good one.
We have such frivolous claims coming
that's
from
not
us.
true. We
from
don't really
Well,
have
we don't. We rarely go to court.
Occasionally.
Rarely do we go to court because
Well,
we're generally always right.
I can't remember the last time we went to court, but then I do have selective amnesia as well.
So, our vendors, mostly fabulous. In fact, they're all fabulous.
They are, because they're our vendors.
But let me tell you, Gary, I'm thinking very seriously about suing one of our very good clients.
Because you're an idiot. Basically.
No, Gary, because I've asked them...
because he's an idiot.
I've asked them to clean up their house, which they did beautifully. Not that it was dirty, it was just, usual life's clutters.
Yeah.
So they've gone through the house, they've decluttered it beautifully, they've presented it exactly the way I've asked them to. And I've said, and the final thing, just before the open for inspections, please ensure that you have your windows washed.
It's hard to look at you at the moment.
Which they did. Yeah. But did they then put up some signs saying, "Be careful of the clean windows"?
How many people have gone through that house, that property?
A number.
Yeah, and who had a problem with that house? With
Gary,
the
windows weren't cleaned. Anyway, I'm standing there. I'm standing there on Sunday, and you know me. I'm a fast walker, Gary. I don't shuffle. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission.
You're almost competitive with your walking. It's like it's in a little. You think you're Jemima Montag. You're on a little competitive walking race all of your own.
Jemima would struggle to keep up with me when it's real estate related. Anyway, maybe over.
Look her up if you don't know who she is.
Maybe over 20 kilometres she'd get me, but ultimately between me and a buyer, she'd struggle to keep up. Anyway, I'm standing in their beautiful kitchen meals area, and there is a buyer outside, and I'm going to go and connect with the buyer, as I do. So I go straight through the open door, right? Into the garden, and at my pace, I go straight through the open door, and then all of a sudden, I hear this explosion, like serious explosion, and I see stars, and my face and head is absolutely on fire.
I'm enjoying this story.
And I realise
does that make me a bad person?
They have cleaned the windows so well that it's like an open door. So there was no sign on the window saying, careful. The
careful,
glass.
Dumb agents.
There was nothing there to indicate. So my question is it fair and reasonable for me to sue these people? Because quite frankly, look at my nose.
Can we get we're going to get a close up of that nose and put it on camera in a minute. But
I've had, as you like to point out, I've had that much work done on my face.
That's a problem.
That it was shocking to
and
see blood pouring out of my nose.
The plastic surgeon said, stay away from candles because you might melt, Phil, all that sort of warning stuff. You're generally quite careful in your own kind of reckless way, aren't you? But anyway, so just so people don't understand,
hang on.
You're at a house, you've walked into what you thought was an open door, which ended up being a window. You've pushed back. Did you break the window? Because we could get sued if you did that.
Let me tell you, the window is...
The window came off, your second best.
The window's there. Mind you, I did go back to have a look at the window, and there's this smudge stain, like right where my face and forehead is connected.
Well, if I was a vendor, I'd be suing you for having to clean their windows for being an idiot.
Anyway, but here's where it gets funnier, and welcome to my life, right? My next appointment after that, after I've recovered, my next appointment is with somebody who's selling their house, and they're plastic surgeons.
And is there blood
They're,
running?
they're plastic
Is that
surgeons. So I
right?
walk into their house and I go, look, before I give you a consultation,
Yes.
would you mind giving me a consultation?
Exactly right. So reciprocating business.
And he did look at me and said, and he did say this to me, Gary. He said, look, whoever is responsible for your face, they have done the most beautiful job.
Well, obviously they knew it didn't have much to work with. So whatever they did to improve was obviously a great enhancement. So
anyway, to sue your client or not to sue your client, that is the question.
And of course, we'll have those hungry lawyers lining up, Phil, to do it on a percentage basis, no doubt. But look, can you just look after yourself? Because it's November, it's a busy time. We've got some big weeks coming up. We're going to have a very busy December, by the way. And look,
it's going to go late, Gary. It's going to go late.
I reckon it's going to go late too. And some people would like to know a little bit about the market, not just your face.
Okay.
And what's going on.
This is a real estate show.
It is a real estate show. Let me remind you of that.
Not Judge Judy.
No, it's not Judge Judy. It's not botched either, which is probably more appropriate. But look, I did worry about you, And look, we've had a tough week, personally, because you've had that happen to your nose. And you know what I had the other day? The pleasure of a cold shower out of hot water. You like cold showers?
So good for you. It's the Wim Hof. The Wim Hof
I don't know
method.
Whoever Wim Hof is, obviously is a bit of a masochist, because Wim Hof, you can come over and get some hot water at my place if you want to Wim Hof, because I tell you, I did not like that cold shower at all, Phil. And I didn't get the conditioner on, so my hair was funny all day. But anyway, look,
so viewers, if you're interested in your general health and well-being,
I
suggest you Google the Wim Hof method. A lot of science around this, but the science of cold water immersion. And
is that going to help my racehorses go any faster? Lakes Folly came second on the weekend. For those that follow it, a good place to
it had an ice bath before the race, Gary, maybe it would have won.
This Saturday,
sometimes it's these little 1%ers that make all the difference.
Yes, indeed, Phil. Evening Glory didn't go so well, but let's talk about real estate, Phil, because eventually we did get around to it after we heard about your nose and the explosion, the nasal explosion that you had via that glass window. 58% clearance rate. There's no boast music. There won't be any boast music because we've just met expectations. We haven't exceeded them.
That was the industry average came in at 58%, and we came in at 58%, which means we are average for the first time in a very long time, Gary. Having said that...
Have you voted yet, by the way?
No, I haven't.
No. Okay, go on. I'm just trying to throw you off. Having said that...
I will go and vote.
Don't forget.
That's really
Who are you voting for?
Well, Gary... in the interests of being a non-political show,
you're not going to say.
I won't answer the question.
No.
But what I will say on camera, and I'm very happy to do this, David Southwick, who is the local member for the area at which we do so much, all I can say is he has been, in my opinion, the most phenomenal local member. He is.
There is some politics on GPTV. You've made an endorsement. That's a political endorsement.
I can tell you this.
Do we get any sponsorship for that?
I can tell you this is that he is a guy that lives and breathes his electorate, and because we do so much in the community, we are kind of reasonably astute judges of who's doing the heavy lifting. And I will say this to you: David Southwick has done a lot of heavy lifting in the electorate, and if you think about politicians having an electorate and their job is to look after their electorate, regardless of people's politics, I think he's done an incredible job.
Well, good on you, Dave, and good luck to you, and good luck to everybody that's having a dip, having a go, whether we have a new government this time next week, I don't know, Phil. Looks like Daniel Andrews is a hot favourite, but if I put money on him, I'll tell you we'll get rolled, because I've backed plenty of hot favourites that have lost.
Actually, so the Liberal Party should be ringing you up saying, listen, we're going to make a donation to you.
To back Daniel Andrews, because that way he'll definitely lose. But anyway, the polls, Phil, they can never be so sure. In America, they talked about the red wave. It never really came. It was all a red ripple. We just don't know what's going on. The world's a crazy place, Phil. There's crazy things happening. There's crazy people. In England, they can't keep a prime minister. They got inspired by Australia. There's, get a new prime minister every time you want to, like a hot dinner. Anyway, let's talk about real estate.
Finally, talking about England and Britain and their prime minister, I've just last night finished the last series of The Crown.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to the next series because it's really going to go deep into Diana. But it was really good. It was really good. And that actor, the actor that plays the Queen, you'd swear that's the Queen. Right? It's just
imagine if the Queen really did play the Queen. Just as a joke. She said, I'm going to go under an anonymous actor's name, but I'm actually going to play myself.
Well, there was this lovely true story about the Queen going for a walk with her.
There will be some real estate
with her long-time aide in the forest.
Yeah, I heard about that.
In the forest somewhere.
That's a great
and two
story.
Americans who are also walking on that trail stop and they start talking.
They say to the guy, "Do you know the Queen?" They got the Queen to take a photo of them, not knowing she was a Queen, and good story.
True story apparently.
Good
so
story,
if you've got
true
any
story.
Queen stories, and a Queens of any descriptions, send those stories in.
It can be drag queen, it can be a witch queen, it can be about the band Queen. Phil, can we move on to real estate? Because we're supposed to talk about, last week we talked about an auction we were going to have midweek in Clarence Street, and it was a bit chilly. It wasn't quite the twilight auction image that we had, Phil, which is, nice and sunny and warm and cool and, cool as in the scene was cool, but the weather was warm. It didn't quite work out that way. It was a bit cold, but certainly the property wasn't cold, Phil. We did have a strong bidder there who bid coming over from Box Hill. So welcome to the area.
Do you know what? You've got to love that auction, viewers. If you were there, you would have seen.
Vendor.
I'm in the middle of my spiel, and a woman in the crowd who we do know who has an alterations business.
Oh, I love that story.
Right, she runs alterations from the corner of Duke Street and Clarence Street.
That's right, because the auction was in Clarence Street.
And I believe she's very good at her job, so if you need some alterations, go and see this woman, Corner Duke.
Did you do facial alterations or just clothes?
Corner Duke and Clarence Street. Anyway, in the middle of the auction, I think I might have referred to buying a suit.
Yeah, or your suit or whatever you do.
Or something like that.
As you sometimes do.
As the filler. And she says to me, look, she pipes up from the crowd in the middle of the auction, says, look, Philip, it's a very nice suit, but it doesn't fit you properly. Now, I've got to tell you, I spent a lot of time getting my suits to fit me.
See, that
properly.
would be water off a duck's back for you. Yeah. That's like a knife in your heart.
Well, I'd go to a lot of trouble. Anyway, so I kind of stop and listen to what she's got to say. And she says, look, a beautiful suit. It does look very nice. Obviously a very expensive suit. But she says, doesn't fit you all that well in the shoulders.
Yeah,
and I said, I turned around and said, well, show me. So she comes out of the crowd, comes right up to me and starts doing this. Look, turn around. She says, look, it doesn't fit so well around there.
She was having a bit of a feel and a bit of a push and a bit of a pride.
Anyway, thank you for the feedback. Yeah. Always happy to take on feedback to be better at what we do.
I reckon we should be suing her because I think she made you so befuddled and confused on the weekend. You were walking around into windows and doors, didn't know what you were doing.
Might have been the catalyst.
Could have been it, Phil.
Anyway, back to real estate, Gary.
Actually, another line, another good line.
You dragged this show out.
Because this is the funny part of the show, Phil. The rest is just results and boring. But, what about happened at Raphael Street? There was somebody that bid. An opening bidder, you've probably forgotten already because you've become unconscious, really. You don't even know what's going on. Do you even know who I am anymore? You're there. Anyway, so
what's this camera arrangement here?
Who are these people?
Yeah.
So Philip says to the opening bidder, you were great for about 10 seconds. And he says...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And he says, that's what my wife said. And that was a little bit of a controversy because, there were some people in there of strong faith, Phil, that got a bit surprised.
Yes.
But anyway, another great line at the auction.
Conversation did go on.
We got more filthy and inappropriate. This is a kids' show, so we'll stay away from it.
But I've got to tell you, viewers, the one thing that I love about our clientele, and there's many things I love about our clientele, but the one thing is that they are not shy. They are more than happy. We say auctions are interactive processes, but sometimes I think the consumer just takes that a little bit too far.
Takes control, tells you what to do. I was told what to do at the auction at 6B Quinns Road, Phil. I also had a bit of a heckler in the crowd. I had a chap there with his two sons, and they were all, stocky, strong guys. And he put in a bid at $1 million, even though our price guide started, I think, for 1.3. And then I put in a vendor bid at 1.3. He goes, no, that's just too high. He got upset with me, started telling me off. Anyway, we did pass it in, not to him. He did bid all the way into the mid 1.3s, but we passed it into another a delightful couple who have bought that property for an undisclosed amount, but within our range of 1.3 to 1.4. A lot more properties selling within our range.
Viewers, what you might not appreciate, that sometimes dealing with the general public comes with challenges.
Comes at a price, Phil, but don't we love the challenge?
We do.
Phil, I want to talk about this property at 70 Crockford Street, Port Melbourne. It hasn't been sold, but you were really up and about this place. Tell us a little bit about
Gary, we've got permits in place for two of the most fabulous architectural design 3-bedroom homes. And Crockford Street, great location, particularly with summer coming. Part of the whole Bay Street esplanade scene. And now that the Spirit of Tasmania is not stopping there, the place will take on a new vibe.
When you say it's not stopping, does it just go right through the streets of
No.
Port Melbourne
It now doesn't birth there. It now births down somewhere in Geelong.
It does, Phil, we didn't sell 5 Noel Street, but that's a good name of a street for Christmas time, isn't it?
Correct. I reckon we'll be selling that probably around the 24th, 25th, 26th of December.
1485, I think we'll buy that, Phil, and that's probably a good value at that. 247 Armour Street, well, that was a good auction, Philip. Again, sold. That one sold above the range, undisclosed.
And sold to a very nice man that's come from overseas back to join his family. And I think the whole family is happy to have him anchored not too far away from where they all live.
Absolutely, living in the States before that. But 1-1 to 1-2-1 was the range, and sold with 3 competitive bidders, Phil, one of our more popular auctions of the day. But the other one I want to talk about hasn't yet sold. It was 2 at 16 Hewenden Road, Phil. That one is a beautiful property.
You know what, Gary? That's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, lock-up garage. Feels like brand new. It's a relatively recent development, but you know it's just the best location there. So you know, and at $1,049,000, you know, you think to yourself, what can you buy these days? Circa $1 million. Not much, but you can buy that fabulous home.
Well, we talked last week about is this a very best time to buy, and I think, Phil, it is a great time to buy because you've got the rare combination of prices having come off, but still a little bit of volume out there. And generally when prices come off, we know that the volume shrinks. So you might be ready to buy, you might think you're going to get a great opportunity because things have come off a bit, but then there's no one that wants to sell. That's the problem. So if you see something now where the prices have come off, jump in, and you might want to do that at 42 Fix Given Crescent, Philip, because that is also, to me, a screamingly good buy. It was passed
you know, you've got just land, over 1.8. You've got a beautiful house, you've got a great location, a terrific street. I can't see how that's not a good buy.
No, I think it's a good buy too. So that's a little bit about what's going on. Now, Phil, just pass it over for a second, or I'll do this little bitsy bit here. We cannot wait for the weekend for our auctions, Phil, because we've got to get them kicking off on midweek, and on Wednesday we've got at 5 p.m. in Punt Road, Windsor, Phil. You've got this fantastic property. I know Julian and Jacob Kingston are excited about seeing you there.
Gary, they've been selling quite a few in this building, and this is one of the best ones in the building. It's on the 5th floor. That's why it's 502. 3 bedrooms, 2 magnificent bathrooms, basement car parking for 2 cars. Check this property out. It is beautiful.
Great looking period home happening in Brighton East. Also another lovely twilight auction on Wednesday, Philip. We're going to be at 35 Lucas Street, Brighton East.
Gary, 616 square metres of prime Brighton East land. I love that pocket of East Brighton, and this is a really good home because you can move into it very happily, or you can contemplate about the future uses of the land, or perhaps a further extension to the property, but good real estate.
If you want to see an auction where things are really hopping, Phil, hop your way over to Kangaroo Road, Hughesdale. This has been very popular. Leor Samuel auctions this on Wednesday at 6 p.m.
I love these single-story villas, Gary. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a lock-up garage, and magnificent courtyard gardens and deck area. That is a terrific property.
We've got 10 auctions happening on Saturday, Philip. You're doing 40% of the auctions, even though there are 8 auctioneers. You're a busy man.
You know, they used to call me at school Mr. 40%, Gary.
Is that right? Yeah, you were consistently getting that, which was good. Consistency is important, Phil, and no question, 40% was that was probably one of the better results that you used to see at school.
It was.
We've got double auction action at 10:30 a.m. Philip, we're going to start you off, but firstly, let's talk about Graham Callan's auction at Bena Avenue, Carnegie. It's not only been a good address, it is a good address.
Gary, another great property. Single level, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a lock-up garage. Again, fantastic garden areas.
29 Hornby Street, Brighton East, Phil. Looking forward to conducting that auction also, 10:30 a.m.
Well, Gary, it's pretty easy to get excited about an auction in Hornby, isn't it?
It is, very much so.
That's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, fabulous home on 664 square metres of land. A great opportunity exists there.
You should have yourself a little break after the Hornby Street auction, Philip, and have an hour off, which you're going to. But at 11:30, Jeremy Rosens opens his account of auctioning in Fitzroy Street in his very busy market.
Do you know what, viewers? Take it from me, and I've said it first, that Fitzroy Street is at the start of a renaissance, and now is a great time to be buying in Fitzroy Street, because Fitzroy Street used to, a long time ago, used to be a premier boulevard.
Yes,
then
indeed.
it went through some dark times. I think it's on the cusp of a revival, particularly as there will be new hotels built in Fitzroy Street. And if you think about it, it's the most unbelievably beautiful boulevard that connects really Paran and St Kilda to the beach.
It deserves a revival, Phil, because it's been a bit dark and dingy for a while, but it's coming back. I think the Gatwick was a good change, a start, but of course more development, we'll see it happen that way. Phil, we've got double auction action at 12:30. You're going to be at number 17 Quinns Street together with Nikki Janover. What a terrific
Gary, almost
address. 700
square metres of land, but a great 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom family home. That's a great opportunity to buy a house and or land. So much upside there.
Graham Callan's doing 3 auctions on Saturday. Philip, 12:30, he's going to be selling in Glen Huntly Road, Carnegie, 1284 Glen Huntly Road.
Gary, a fabulous home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, plenty of off-street car parking, including a double lock-up garage and wrap-around courtyard garden.
Double auction action at 230 Elliott Avenue, Carnegie, being auctioned by Graham Callan, a great-looking property.
1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, Gary, and a balcony. That is a great location. Elliott Avenue is fabulous. Walk to the Groove and all of the action in Koonang Road.
Nikki Janover, Philip Kingston combine again as agent and auctioneer in Flower Street, Caulfield South.
Gary, check out the size of this property. It is amazing. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a double lock-up garage, courtyard garden areas, parquetry floors. That's a great home.
You'll be closing your account on Saturday at 3:30, Philip, at 29 Cummins Road, Brighton East. A great address.
Gary, 650 square metres of land with a spectacular home that you can move straight into. 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, gorgeous garden areas. That is a rip snorter.
At 4:30, Phil, we are going to be saying hello, Newman, as Jerry Seinfeld used to say.
Yep.
This time 3 at 2 Newman Avenue, Carnegie. Jack Slater is handling it, and Leo Samuels, the auctioneer.
Gary, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, basement car parking and a double garage. That is a fabulous development and a fabulous home.
Phil, that's a busy Saturday in Carnegie. 50% of our auctions are actually in Carnegie.
Well, we love Carnegie, Gary.
Love Carnegie.
There was a time in our early on in our career, when we were in our early 20s, that Carnegie seemed so far away, and on top of it, you know, we weren't rushing to go to Carnegie.
No.
But these days, it's now one of Melbourne's hottest suburbs. And if you ask me on a scale of 0 to 10, where it is in terms of its potential capital growth, I reckon it's only at 4. I reckon there is so much upside in Carnegie. Incredible upside.
Koonang Road now is becoming a premier address for great meals, great dinners. It's buzzing. The station, the elevation of the station there in our office in Koonang Road has been fantastic.
But you know, to give Dan Andrews some credit for something that he has done, that whole train overpass. You know, if you have a look at it, you've now got the Carnegie station, you've got the Murrumbina station, and then you've got the Hughesdale train station.
And you can walk along there.
And you can walk right along underneath it. But it's just brought those 3 suburbs, I reckon, together.
It has.
It's been incredible.
They've always been good, but they just became great, didn't they? Triple auction action at 10:30 a.m, Phil. You're going to be in Oron Crescent, just across the road from our office. We're familiar with this property,
Gary, I reckon this is a really good home. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, a lock-up garage, courtyard garden areas. And if you think about that little pocket, which is underpinned by common room and espresso and Frank and Ginger, you know, you don't need a car there. You can walk to the tram in Dandenong Road and the village, the Alma Village, which we love.
We love the Alma Village, and accessible to the Alma Village also is this fantastic property that I'm so excited to be auctioning at 10:30 a.m. on Sunday in Ardoch Avenue, St Kilda East.
Viewers, if you've never been to Ardoch,
it's an experience.
This development is incredible. It's like being in England, you know, where they built everything around the village green. This is it, because you've got the village green, which is spectacular, but you've also got a gymnasium and an indoor swimming pool. That's a really good property, and that is 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, and I love that development.
As do I, Philip. We are going to be at 10:30 also in Glen Huntly Road. Again, our 6th auction this time in Carnegie, Leo Samuel Auctions.
A beautiful apartment, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, beautiful timber floorboards, and of course a fantastic courtyard garden.
Perhaps the finest home, in fact the finest home that we're auctioning this weekend, or one of them, is at number 43 Fitzgibbon Crescent. This is a masterpiece.
Gary,
Tell us about it.
I did a video tour of this house, and the minute I arrived there, I thought, wow, this is special. And then as I walked around the home, I thought, wow, this is one of the best homes, particularly in the price range, where you couldn't replace this house for anywhere near what the reserve of the property will be. So somebody is going to buy a fantastic home.
We'll look forward to seeing them. I'm going to come along and join you with that auction, Phil.
Oh, why don't you,
Yeah,
Gary?
I'm going to come and have a coffee, come and say g'day. Both of our coffee vans up and running?
No,
one of them was,
unfortunately, one of the coffee crew, whose name will remain nameless, wiped it out.
Yeah, well, that's what,
and they wiped it out. They could have wiped it out in June, when the stock levels are low. But no, wiped it out in springtime, and try getting a panel beater this time of year.
I can't find one anywhere. Couldn't even
So
get one from
for all
another
the panel beaters that watch this show, if you can squeeze that job in, it'd be really...
I found you somebody. Couldn't they help you? The panel beater I gave you?
No.
Okay. Well, fair enough. Phil, let's go on to 12:30. We've got some double auction action there. We're going to be in Anderson Street, Caulfield. This is a fine-looking property.
Gary, as it is, it's quite magnificent with beautiful entertaining areas, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a double lock-up garage. Everything that opens and shuts there doesn't get any better.
It doesn't get any better, but I tell you what is just as good. That would be 28 Ellington Street, Caulfield South. Jeremy Rosen's auctions this wonderful looking property.
Spectacular home, Gary. 5 bedrooms, 3 beautiful bathrooms, a double lock-up garage, further car parking, swimming pool, everything that opens and shuts. That is outrageously good.
You're going to bring us home with 3 auctions on Sunday at 1:30, 3:30 and 4:30. Philip 15 Rotorua Street is happening at 1:30.
Gary, if you've ever been to Rotorua in New Zealand,
I haven't.
It's the most incredible place. But it stinks,
as
opposed to this house, which is the most incredible house that smells beautiful.
Fair enough.
So Rotorua, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, as many parking for up to 4 cars, maybe even more, a swimming pool, everything that opens and shuts on a large parcel of land. That is an excellent opportunity.
And there's no geysers there. There's no stinky...
No bubbling sulphur pools.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Phil, I think this has got to be our premium offering for the weekend. 44 Langdon Road is the most spectacular master-built home. It was the front page of the Property Weekly, Phil. They chose it as being the home of the week.
As it should have been, Gary. 797 square metres of land. So firstly, a very large parcel of land, underpinned, of course, by a fantastic, beautiful family home. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, double lock-up garage. That is, I think that's a masterpiece of a home.
I'm just thinking the same word is on the tip of my tongue. Phil, 4:30, bring down the curtain in Booran Road. That's at 129B. Booran Road. You'll be meeting the lovely Lamore Herskovitz for that auction.
And Nikki Janova, 4 bedrooms, Gary. 4 bathrooms, a double lock-up garage. This is a home of homes. And of course, Booran Road in that position, you walk to all of the fantastic shops in Glen Huntly Road. You've also got the Booran Reserve. You've got access to Princess Park, the train station. That is a terrific home.
Phil, 350 Alma Road is not coming up for auction this weekend, but it is our home of the week to review. Tell us a bit about this masterpiece.
Well, Gary, it's spectacular. We've had the joy of selling this home before. It's timeless architecture. It's a modern home in many ways, but you feel like this house has been built for the next 100 years. Solid, beautifully designed home, orientating around the most extraordinary Japanese garden, massive entertaining areas. It is a spectacular home in so many ways.
Quality and style amplified in the Paris end of Alma Road, Phil. And that's a big wrap, Phil, for this week's edition of GPTV. We've got one more week of spring to wrap the market. Then we get to summer, where we'll hopefully get some
summer
more weather.
Does start on the 1st of December. So if somebody could tell the weather gods to just kind of sort things out, because yes, rain is important, but the dams are full, and Melbourneites are just desperate for summer alfresco living. So bring on the 1st of December. It has been a busy time, Gary, but we've got a very action-packed 5 weeks in front of us before agents go into hibernation and take off their suits and
get into their OMS,
put their pretentious leased cars into the garages and take some time off before it all picks up again mid-January. Viewers, thank you for watching. And if you've got any concerns about how your nose looks, if you want to change your nose, just come with me on the weekend to a house where we could collectively sue the vendor. This is very sad.
That's a big wrap on GPTV. See you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
See you next week.